Marsh Bell, or Dr. Mo. I'm here with a couple of our Baylor student athletes just to talk about how everyone's been coping with all this change and how that might impact our mental health. So with me, I have Aaliyah from track and field, Marika from volleyball, and Jayla from A&T, acrobatics and tumbling. So ladies, just start off by telling me how you've been coping with all the change that's been going on this semester.
I would say it was a very big adjustment. Kind of going into it, it all kind of happened when spring break was just starting. So I was only thinking I was going to be away from campus for a week, and it turned out quickly to be the rest of the semester and the whole season gone and the Olympics moved. So it was a very big change and kind of hard to accept initially. I was kind of in disbelief that all of it was happening.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same. I resented my parents for the first 2 weeks. I didn't really want to talk to them. I was like, I just want to go back. I was in disbelief as well. I wanted to go back to Texas, just back to like living my own life. It was very weird. I felt like I was in a dream, kind of.
Yeah, I kind of just like what everyone else was saying, like you leave for spring break and then you get a message saying you're not coming back. And it's like, well, now I've got to change all of my plans. And so I think it was just that original adjustment that was the hardest.
So you were in shock, disbelief, just unsure of how it's going to look. How have you managed your mental health, or how have you dealt with all of that shock?
I think for me, I've gone on a lot of walks, like just to try and clear my head or to get away from staring at the screen, whether it's doing homework or scrolling through Twitter. So I've gone on a lot of walks.
I think for me, it was like changing my perspective. I will never be able to see my parents for this long time or be with my family for like a long time like this. So after those 2 weeks of disbelief, I like changed my perspective and I was like, okay, I will never get this again. I will just take it all and just maybe start some new hobbies or like figure out what I want to do. So I think I just changed my perspective was my biggest thing.
Yeah, I would say the same. I talked a lot with my friends. It was my senior season, so none of us really envisioned this happening in our last semester at Baylor, to be cut short, and I had a lot of family time and just to think of the big picture. Like this is a very selfless act for us to do, because it's not really concerning us and our sports. It's more about the worldwide like well-being of everybody else. So
yeah, so it sounds like you all are staying active, using your support systems, and trying to really think about this differently. That's great. So oftentimes when we go through challenges or just have to go through situations, we learn something new about ourselves, or we grow a little bit in some way. How have you grown, or what have you learned about yourself as you've been dealing with all this change?
Well, I have started a lot of new hobbies. My mom didn't want me to sit just and watch Netflix, so she's kept me busy. I have painted 2 new rooms in my house, and she learned me how to sew. Well, taught me how to sew, and I'm learning how to drive stick, which I never thought I would, but I was like, okay, why not? So I've just been keeping myself busy and doing different things, I guess, and just like learning how like valuable family time is. I'm having some like different conversations with my mom just because I like never am with her like so long. So like conversations are like, I'm an adult now. Like I can have these conversations. So it's like, it's very interesting, just like the dynamic that our family has been changing.
I so too. So we're going to have to talk about that when you get back. What else? Jayla, Aaliyah?
I would say it made me, sorry.
You got it.
I did a lot of like being in the moment and really appreciating my time at Baylor and all like the little moments that you don't really reflect on, but like I'll look through like my Snapchat memories and just see like times we're at weights or at practice and we're like dreading it or dreading like our crazy hectic schedule, but now with everything being gone, you kind of miss it. So it really just taught me to live in the moment, be appreciative of what we have, because it can be taken away at any point.
For sure. I never thought I would miss the 6 a.m. workouts. I'm definitely missing 6 a.m. workouts.
You know your coaches will see this, so. What about you, Jayla?
I think for me, something that I learned was like that change is like okay. of obviously like this disease is not okay, but just learning how to adapt to change and be more flexible has been something that's big for me. And then like kind of what Aaliyah was saying, just looking at like the team and the family that you have at Baylor and like being excited to get back to them and going through and being appreciative of everything.
Yeah, I know, especially as student athletes, I hear sometimes that your lives feel kind of routine because they're kind of structured and really scheduled. And so this type of change is maybe something you all are not used to. So that's a good lesson to learn, that you can deal with change and it'll be okay. So tell me how you're staying motivated. I mean, the semester classes are over, but you still have to make it through finals. What are you doing to stay focused and stay motivated to get through the semester all the way through to post-finals?
I think for me, a big part of it is realizing that we have literally like a week and a half left. Like if I do it now, it's done. So might as well just push through and get it done good.
I think for me, it's like, this is not the end. There's that are coming after this. Like, even this disease is not like the end of where we are. So like, there's life after this. So like, doing all the things now and keeping it all straight right now for it, like being at the end would be like, that's my motivation, just wanting to get through the end, I guess.
Yeah, what's motivating me is this is my last semester of undergrad, so it's not what I envisioned, but I ordered my cap and gown the other day and it came in the mail. So even though I'm not graduating technically right now, it's just nice to finally kind of be done and like take the next step. So it's very exciting.
Well, congratulations, Aaliyah.
Thank you.
It sounds like you are just kind of pushing through and recognizing that there's other things on the other side of this. And so if you could just make it through these finals, it'll be okay. So your fellow student athletes are going to see this video. So what would you say to them to help them stay motivated or to help them cope with all the change that's still happening? Words of wisdom.
I think for me, I always remember like God's not going to bring you to something he can't bring you through. So if he brought us to it, he'll get us through it. Final season.
Well, I don't know how I can up past that, but
you can add to it. Add to it.
No, what I would say is like, this is not the end. There's so many more things that we like live through, and this is not the worst. This won't be the worst in your life, and this will not be the best of your life, and you still have the best to live. Like, just keep it going.
Good addition. All right, Aaliyah.
I feel like I think it's gonna bring us stronger together because we're all going through it. It's not like one person's going through an injury. We're all like, facing some type of loss, and it'll make us stronger. But one thing that I found was I've been watching a lot of like videos on some like past runners, and one that stuck out to me was Molly Seidel. She was a runner at Notre Dame, and she ran her first marathon at the Olympic trials like in February and made the team. And that really inspired me because that is a very hard race to just go out there and run for the first time. But one quote that she said was, it's not about going out and killing one workout or doing incredibly well at this one race. It's about the weeks, the months, and the years of just steady and consistent buildup. There's going to be really tough times, and it's just about getting through those and pushing on, because if you keep at it, anything can happen. So just stay and have faith and just keep grinding out, because it'll all be worth it. Fall will come back, and then it'll just be like our regular routine, just getting back into it. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. Very good advice. Very good wisdom from all three of you. So thank you so much for taking the time to have this Mental Health Monday talk with me. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of your other student athletes here that, first of all, a lot of people are feeling the same thing. And like you all said, we're all going through this together, but also to hear your strength and your motivation and your wisdom. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Hey Baylor Bears, just want to give you a few quick tips as you prepare for finals week. first, start off by getting organized. Decide what you have to study, what chapters you might have to reread, what notes you might have to look over again, and put them all in a list and prioritize them from hardest to easiest. The priority might also be around what finalists first, but make sure you have them in order. And then once you have them in order, start from the top and tackle the hardest one first. We're always tempted to start with things that are much easier and just check those off our list. But what we might be doing is just procrastinating from doing the hardest task, and then it gets pushed aside and not done. And then we end up not studying as much for the test we really needed to study for because we were procrastinating on the little things. This tip comes from a book that's called Eat That Frog. Strange name, but the author shared that if you knew tomorrow morning you had to get up and eat a frog, it's best if you do it the first thing in the morning, because if not, you wait all day, you think about how nasty and gross that is, you freak yourself out, you don't want to do it, and then you continue to push it off. This is not helping you. It's just making you more anxious, and it's delaying the inevitable. But if you get up and you did that first, the rest of your day, you can know that you've already done the hardest thing you have to do today. And that makes you feel accomplished and helps you stay motivated to continue to tick off the smaller things on your list. Next, think about your motive. Why are you doing this? Why are you in this class that's hard and now you have this hard final exam? Is it because you want to be the first in your family to graduate? Is it because you're motivated to make your parents proud? Or is it just because you want to maintain your GPA so you can keep your eligibility? Whatever your motive is, use that as your motivation and keep it in the front of your mind. And finally, use each other for support. You're used to supporting each other all the time. And as athletes, you all have a little bit of competitive spirit. So maybe turn things into a competition. How many exam words can you remember? How many formulas can you remember? Make it a competition. Or just provide each other support. Give someone else your to-do list for the day and make them be your accountability partner. They can check in with you, see if you're getting it done, and hold each other accountable and motivate each other that way. Finals are coming. There's nothing you can do about it, but you've got this. Get organized, tackle those priorities, think about your motive, and then use each other for support. You've got it.